Ben, let's talk about EVTOLs.
Let's.
You're doing some cabin design in the area of EVTOLs.
That's right. So we're working with a company called Sora in the UK. They're a relatively young EVTOL company based in Bristol. They're creating an aircraft called the S1. It's unusual in that it's a 30-seat aircraft. So most EVTOLs, as you probably know, are sort of in the order of around 4 seats.
5.
Yeah, so they're kind of, the majority are sort of air taxis.
That's a whopper,
in a sense.
30-seater.
30 seats is a whopper. It's optimised for a very specific mission. So it'll be looking at taking people on the same route, back and forth, all day long. And the expectation is that's likely to include a lot of work, ferrying people to and from airports.
How many miles? What's the range?
I think at the moment it's in the order of 15 to 20 minutes range. So quite short flights. It's an interesting aircraft because whilst there's a lot of similarities with the other EVTOL aircraft in the kind of drivetrains and the technologies used, the actual passenger experience, which is the bit that we sort of are focused on, is much more akin to a small airliner than a lot of the other air taxis. So we've got rows of seats, we've got an aisle, you can walk up and down the aircraft, we've got overhead bins, lots of those things that you'll be familiar of.
And what's different between this and a conventional aircraft?
That's a very good question. There's a lot of kind of familiarity. There's lots of things, we've been inspired by a lot of the best practice from conventional aircraft. Where it differs are the certification. The certification route for these aircraft is still somewhat unclear, but what we're basing our work on, which we think gives us a sort of reasonable degree of confidence, is that it's going to be the helicopter standards. So we're looking more towards the types of seating that you see within helicopters. There's lots of products out there that are available, more so than we're looking at conventional, airliner seats. Where it gets interesting is helicopters seats tend to be, you don't have things like the ability to easily stow bags underneath them. What everybody wants, of course, is a seamless experience from your house to the airport. And so if you're travelling on an A321, say, to fly over to France, you'll be expecting to put your bags in the overhead bins, your handbag under the seat in front, or your laptop case or whatever. And that's not an option here. So we have, immediately a small but probably significant issue around baggage. So we need to figure out how we can deal with that. The ergonomics of helicopter seats are a little bit different. At the moment, because of the fact that the whole industry around EVTOL is relatively immature compared to the helicopter market, there are not a huge range of mature solutions on offer. So we're having to work with those suppliers of those seats to say, actually, we need this to be a little bit different. And in particular, going back to what's unique about this particular aircraft is that we have rows of seats, which is not something you're going to see on the kind of the products that we see from like Archer and Joby. It's quite a different set of requirements that we're placing on these seats. It's a hybrid between conventional airliner requirements and helicopter requirements. So we're doing a lot of work at the moment to try to understand how we can resolve those things.
Does the specific considerations around weight when it comes to EVTOLs, does that impact the work that you're doing?
Absolutely, yeah. Weight is so deeply ingrained into aircraft design, in terms of the exterior and the interior. So we're very, very used to dealing with that, and we have a good sense of what the kind of emerging solutions are and what the established solutions are. So we're certainly applying all of that to the EVTOL. But yes, they are even more sensitive to weight. When speaking to suppliers, we're very, very conscious of what the weights for their products are, what we can do to work with them to try and bring those weights down. That's a prime consideration.
I'm sure. Carbon fibre is a material that can help you save weight, but it's also come under scrutiny because it's really hard to recycle. So from the recycling point of view and sustainability point of view, it's not maybe so good. So what are your preferred materials?
Composites, yes, clearly are extremely attractive because of the weight savings, and really they are an enabler for this sort of an aircraft. I don't think we can overlook. One thing that we're trying to encourage with the work that we're doing here and in other spaces is looking at how we can increase the use of recycling. Not only is the amount of embedded energy and CO2 within composites compared to other parts of an aircraft interior is huge. So recycling of these sorts of things and getting it back into the cabin is still sort of a loop that's in its infancy. But we're seeing some really exciting work from the universities and some of the suppliers now in realising those things.
Do you see EVTOLs finding their place within the mix of transportation that we currently have?
Yes, I think inevitably. There's a whole range of potential missions for them. We've got the air taxis, we've got the mass transit. Private use is something that a lot of people are talking about. There have been conversations with the Sora guys about, can we take out a few of the seats and make it a bit more luxurious? None of us know yet exactly how that's going to shake down going forward, but I hope it's an inevitability that we'll see these things in the air more commonly in the not too distant future.
Ben, it's been fascinating talking with you about sustainability in aircraft cabins and EVTOL cabin design. thanks so much for your time today.
No, thank you. It's been great fun and lovely talking to you as well. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thanks.